Let me explain the input function and the output function in Python using a story-based format, continuing the journey of Rahul, the new employee at the Smart360 Bank as part of our data engineering course project. Now, Rahul had just completed his onboarding at the Smart360 Bank. On his second day, his manager gave him a small task that Rahul write a small program that takes input from the customer like their name, age, and account balance, and then displays a welcome messages to the on the screen. This is to help you understand how our systems interact with the users. Now, here, taking the input in Python like asking any questions. That is, imagine you are taking to customers across in a desk. That is what you are. For example, you are asking a customer, "What is your name?" He replies written back like, "My name is Siva." You all wrote it down in a notepad. Like the Python does the same with here. We are asking the Python like we are giving the variable name, and using the input function input inside the input function we are giving the keyword like enter your name colon, and you want to print the output like print here hello comma hello comma name comma started quotations exclamatory mark welcome to smart 360 Bank. Police job. See, run this program. You'll get an see. In uppermost, it is asking the enter your name. Here, my name is Shiva. I'm entering the name as Shiva. Click on enter. See, here you'll get an output like hello, Shiva. Welcome to Smart 360 Bank. That is here in the input function, we are using the keyword name, keyword as enter your name. That is about the input function. And after knowing the input function, we all go about the printing output in Python, like displaying the information on the screen. Here, printing the output in Python, like displaying information on the screen. We'll see how it is. Just give me 1 second. Yes, okay. Now I'll start. Here, just Rahul wanted to display the information. He learned about the print function. Just like a TV displays what happening, the print function shows the messages to the user. Here, I'm using the print function. Print starts there. Quotation. Welcome to Smart 360 Bank. Now run this code, you'll get a display like welcome to the Smart 360. This is the print function. Here, here we can also print variables. Here, how we are going to print these variables. 1 second, I'm writing the code here. Here, I am giving the customer variable, customer name variable, and assigning the value to this Siva. And later, I'm giving a balance, assigning a value, some amount 10,000. Now, I want to print these variables, two variables. Here, print by using the print function. Here, customers, sorry, I am not given the quotation. Customers, colon, colon, comma, customers, underscore, name. the variable name here, and after that has a balance of rupees, comma, balance. Run this program, you'll get an output like customer Shiva has a balance of rupees 10,000. See here, the customer name. Here we define the variable as Shiva, customer name as Shiva. Here the customer name is Shiva, and the other variable balance, which is an int, we are given a 10,000. Like this, we are going to display like variables. And also, we can take the multi inputs. How we can see this? Taking the taking the multiple inputs. That is like a form. Here, how we are doing. We'll write a program here. Here, Rahul had taken details of multiple customers at their once. Here, how? X, comma, Y equals to, these are the two variables. X is one variable, Y is one variable. Here, using the input keyword, I'm giving the keywords like enter, enter number of boys and girls, girls, colon, space, comma. Here I'm using the split function. We'll see later about the split function, forget it about and later. And I want to print this. Here what I'm going to do is print number of boys is X, print number of girls is Y. Now I'm going to run this program. See how it is happening. See, in the uppermost, it is asking enter number of boys and girls. Here, I'm giving 5 1 and the other is 10. Just click on enter. See here, the number of boys are 5. In the output, we are getting like number of boys is 5 and number of girls is 10. Like this way, we can call multiple inputs at a time. And after writing this, we can go for changing the data type, that is converting the string to int or float. That how you can see here. I'm taking one more code cell and here I'm giving the heading like changing the data type, that is converting string to int or float. Here you can't add numbers if they are strings. So here Rahul converted the string into numbers using int function or a float function. How we can see here. Here I'm giving the variable name as amount and calling the giving the data type as int, and here calling the input function as enter deposit amount colon space. And now I want to print this. Print your give your quotations. The quotations. Your deposit of rupees, comma, and then here amount variable name amount, and later give and was successful, was was. Now run this code. What will be happening? Here, what will you get the output is here it is asking enter the deposit amount. deposit amount, how much amount we are depositing, we have to enter here. For example, I am depositing 8,000. See what's the output is. See, your deposit of rupees 8,000 was successful. This is in this way we can convert this float like a string to int or a string to float. We can convert these data types. Here, why it is important means in real banks you must do calculations like interest, balance, updates, etc., which only work with the numbers, not text. So that's why this type of data types, changing the data types is needed in banking sector. And also we are using the conditional input. So is used for the like in a banking sector is like a smart decisions based on what users use. So let me take one more course and explain you what it is. Here we are discussing about the conditional input. What it says, conditional inputs. It is in a smart decision based on what user says. Let's see what it is. Here, Rahul built a system where if a user enters their age, the bank suggests the right type of account. See how it is. Here, I'm giving the age as a variable and converting this input function as int. Here, input function and using the keyword here, enter your age. Enter your age, colon, semicolon, space, and later enter. Here, by using the if condition, if age is greater than, sorry, is less than 18, oh, print, print, you are a minor, please open a savings account with guardian support. Guardian support. Or with the ellipse, the age is less than 65, print you are eligible for a regular savings or salary account. There is one more condition, that is an else. We are having the else condition also here. The else. Forget about this conditions class. I will tell you after. We'll discuss about this later. Just see how the output we are printing. Else print you are eligible for our senior citizen account with special benefits. Benefits. Now see here we are taking the conditional input and see let's see the how the output goes. Here I'm clicking enter. See the uppermost it is asking the age. I'm giving the age like 55. See, the output prints like you are eligible for regular savings or a salary account. One more time, I'm going to run this code. Here again, it is asking, I'm giving like 5. See how it runs. 5. You are a minor, Please open a savings account within a guardian's account. Here, this is the multiple inputs. We are giving the multiple inputs and getting the output like this. Based upon the conditionals input, we are using the conditional inputs and run the outputs. Here, we are after learning this, we can use that output formatting, making it pretty for the screen. Here, Rahul wanted to print the currency values and messages neatly. So here, let's go to the another code cell. Here, the topic we are discussing about is output formatting. That is making it pretty for the screen. Here, Rahul wanted to print the currency values and messages neatly. We'll see how it is going. Here, I'm giving the variable name as an amount and giving the value like 150.675. One second. Let's see how the I am giving the here variable amount and assigning the value to that variable is 150.675. Now I want to print this one. Here I'm printing by using the win function. I'm printing print amount colon rupees curly brackets colon dot dot format amount. Let's see what is happening by running this. Here we are getting the error. Why we are getting the error here? Let me check. Now let's see the output, how it is running. Just click on this and running here. Here the amount was 150.68. We can also run like using the F strings also. Here how we can use these F strings and print the output. Let me take another one more code cell here. I'm writing like this by using the F strings. Name equals to Shiva and balance equals to 10,000. Now I want to print this using the F strings, right? Print F, say hello, comma, the curly brackets. In this curly brackets, give the variable name here, comma, your balance is brackets, sorry, curly brackets, balance, and run this code now. Let's see what the output is. Hello Shiva, your balance is 10,000 in this F string format. Now we can also run this F string format or we can use this set and end to join these things smartly. How? Let me take a one more code and explain how this. Here, print smart 360 comma bank. Sorry, the quotations should be given of the bank, comma, set equals to hyphen minus amount and equals to far greater than. Here we have to use the quotations for this single quoted marks. and run this one. And after this, I'm going to give the print. Well, select. Now let's see the what is an output here. See, Smart 360 Bank. Welcome. We can here like this way you can use here. After this, we will discussing about the topic of finding the data type, which data type we are using while giving the inputs to the input. What type of data is here? What type of data types you are using, like int, float, string, or boolean? What the data type you are giving here? Now take one more course cell and discussing the topic is the finding the data type, which is debugging helper. That is debugging helper. Here, Rahul often checked what kind of value he was working with. So here, like for example, I'm giving a variable amount, assigning a value to amount, variable amount 500. Now I want to print this type. What type of I'm giving? The value was the what type of the value. Here print by using the print function and type function amount. Here it will give like a class and the data type. See, let's see what is happening here. So yeah, I'm getting here. Okay, I forgot to give it the hash. Okay, and run this. See, it will give the output like class int. What is the purpose of using this data types? Here, by when you deal with the user's input or files, databases or APIs, knowing the types helps avoid the bugs and crashes. Here, what is the purpose of using this? Here, what is the purpose of using this data type knowing or type function? Because while dealing with user input files, databases, or APIs, knowing the type helps avoiding avoiding the bugs and crashes. That is the importance of the type function. Here it is up to the like next we are going to discuss about the variables. Let me 1 second. Now we have learned about the input functions and the output functions. Now this time we are going to discuss about the variables, Python variables. Let me take one more code cell here. And the topic name was Python variables. Here Python variables. We discussed this Python variables with the story-based explanation of Python variables in the same engaging and educational form. That is that the Smart 360 Bank project approach of featuring Rahul and practical tasks he encounters. Like here, the story setup was Rahul recently joined, as we all know, that he recently joined in junior data analyst. His manager assigns him a task to track and process the customer loan data. Rahul as an A, here, Rahul as an A data analyst. In previous, he was a junior data engineer. Now his role was changed to data analyst. Here the task was here the task was track and process customer loan data. Here the task was Rahul's task was the track and process the customer learn data. Let's see how. Now here the variable means variable here he treats the variable like labels on folders in digital file system. Here we are giving that variables uh, variables we treat like labels on folders in our digital file systems. Just like the labels a folder, a customer loan info in Python, we are giving in Python like in a customer loan info, he labels data using the variable names. Let's see how I'm writing here customer name equals to Siva and loan amount equals to 5,000 and interest rate. Sorry, yes, where I'm giving 5 lakhs interest rate equals to 7.5. Now, let's run what? Okay. After giving this is the variable name. Here the variable name for the Siva, customer name as Siva loan. Now we can use this customer name, loan amount, and interest rate anywhere in our code. Like think of that. Like think of a variable as a pointer to a value in memory. This is about the variable. Now, here while giving the variables, we are having the rules. We are while assigning the variables names, we are having somewhat rules. What are the rules? We'll see. The rules for naming variables. Now, I run my cell. Yeah. Here, Rahul makes a note for the rules to avoid some errors. So here the rules are that we avoiding some errors. So here the valid rules were like don't start with the alphabetic order, loan underscore ID equals to 101. Run this, you'll get success. See, there are no errors. If we are taking first as a number 2 underscore loan underscore ID equals to 201. If we run this, we'll get an error like this. See, we are getting an error. Here, while naming the variables, we have to start with an alphabetic and or hyphen. We should not start with the numbers. Here, the in value first we should not start with the numbers, and later we should not start after that using, and also we should not start like a minus. Like for example, I'm running here low instead of hyphen underscore, we are giving the minus. So let's run what it is getting. It's throwing an error. We should not use that symbols. here contains an hyphen. You should not use any hyphens. And also here we should not use the keywords also. For example, here the keyword I am using class instead of this learn ID. I am using the keyword as class equals to and assigning this class as volt. Now let's run this. We'll get an output like this. Error. We should not use the keywords here. Here we have to start here the naming rules first it should be started in alphabetic order or it should not you have to start with a digit. You should not start with a digits or you should not give any minus in between the two words or you should not use any keywords. These are the rules which we doesn't use the naming the variables. This is about the here the tip was using meaningful names to make a code readable. Here, why these rules are useful because by using these meaningful names to make the code readable. So now the next topic is assigning your values. Basic assignments. Here the Rahul stores data as like this. How we are going to assigning the values to the variables. Now let's check that how we are going. Let me take one more code. We are assigning values. So let's see how we are going to assign the values. Here the basic assignment was Rahul stores the data as name equals to Shiva. Sorry, Shiva is an string. We have to put it. Shiva and salary as 20,000 and tax must go rate equals to 0.1. This is the basic assignment. Let's see. You don't get any input. Okay. And we can also view the dynamic typing also. Right? Let's change the type. Here we can change the type also. How we are going to change this type, you will see by using the basic assignment. After a basic, it will be the dynamic typing. Let's change. Here dynamic typing means change the type. It's changes the type. Change the type. That is here, no need to declare types like in Java or C++. This is the dynamic typing. And also, let me take one more course cell. Here, we can assign the multiple assignments. Here, assigning the same value like multiple assignments. Multiple assignments. That is, here, loan 1 equals to loan 2 equals to loan 3 equals to 1 lakh, 1 lakh. See what's happening. We don't get any error. We can assign the multiple inputs also, multiple assignments, and also assigning the different values. How we are going to assign the different values here? For example, I'm assigning here, I'm assigning x, comma, y, comma, z equals to for next, I'm giving a string like manager. For y, I'm giving integer 10. And for z, I'm giving the float value like 5.5. Now let's see what is happening. See, it is taking the inputs like a string, int, float. It like this way, we can assign the multiple inputs also. Why this the purpose of these multiple assignments are because due to The purpose was due to in banking sector, it initializes the multiple loan amounts in one line. In banking sector, it initializes the multiple loan amounts in one line. That was the purpose for using the multiple assignments. Now, we can also use here typecasting a variable. Here, the typecasting was here, we need to convert the user inputs to numbers. Typecasting means we have to convert the user inputs into, that is the strings, into the numbers. Let's see how. Here, the topic was typecasting. See, amount, string, str, variable name. Here, the string was 10,000 and amount. I want this string into integer. Now I will give amount equals to int type. Here the input, here the int type, and I'm giving the keyword as amount str. Here it converts the string into integer. Now let's take a rate equals to float of 7. Now it converts the integer into a float. Now here equals to 5. Here string equals to str of year. Here it will convert the integer into a string. See, let's see how. See, here it is converting its string to integer, and here it is converting integer to float, and here it is converting integer to string. This is why always cast when performing the mathematical operations. The purpose of using this type casting is we are using by performing the mathematical operations. Now getting the variable type here, type function. Here now let me take one more code function. That is here discussing about the topic was the getting the variable type. Let's see how. For example, name equals to Smart360. Now I want to print this variable type. Print type of name. Let's see how it will give the output. See, here it is giving the class as string. Here the type of the name variable is string. Here giving the string. So that's why it is displaying the string. Like this way, we can also give one more like here only. Amount equals to 10,000. Now I want to print type of amount ant. Let's see what is happening here. See, here the amount was integer. The data type is integer. In this way, we can use this getting the multiple variable data types. Okay, after learning these variable types, we are learning about the scope of any variables. There are two types of variables. One is the local variables and the other one is the global variable. Here, one second, let me take the code. We are learning about the scope of variables. Here, in scope of variables, we are having two, two types. That is, one is the local variable where we define inside the function. It will present only inside the function. And the second one is the global variable where it is present in and outside of the function. That is the global variable. Here, let's discuss, for example, here, Rahul writes a function to calculate the EMI. Here, we are writing a function to calculate the, here, we are writing a function to cali calculate the EMI. Now, let's start. Here, I'm defining calculate underscore EMI function. I'm defining a function here. And here I'm giving the monthly interest equals to 0.01. That is, this is a local variable. And print monthly interest. Now I'm coming to outside the condition class, outside the class. Here, calculate EMI function. Here, let's say first we'll run this one and later we'll see this. Now run this code. Let's see what the output looks like. Here we are getting, so sorry, I'm giving mistake in giving the space. Okay, now that's that. See, we are not getting any. Why? Because any error. Why? Because here we are defining the local variable inside the function. Now we are displaying, now let's say outside the function. Let's call the local variable outside the function. Now I'm printing print monthly interest. Copy this one. Monthly interest. Let's see what it will be happening. See, here it is throwing an error because variable not accessible outside. Local variables are not accessible outside because here why we are getting an error, because why we are getting an error due to local variables are not accessible outside. This is the local variables. Now we will discuss about the, let me take one more course cell, and now we will discuss about the global. Let's see the global scope. Here I'm giving the bank scope equals to Smart 360 Bank. Now I'm defining I'm defining the print name function. Here global bank underscore name bank underscore name equals to updated bank name. Now print bank underscore name. After defining the function, here I'm coming outside and defining this print name function. Print name is print bank. Here, let's see how the output is. It is working or not working. Let's see. See, it is working. Why? Because it is in a global scope where the global can work in both in function or outside the function. Whereas coming to the local variable, it only works inside the function only. It doesn't work outside the function. That is the differences between. It is the one of the interview questions for the freshers also, and even somewhat 2 years, 3 years experience also. I have seen that about the interview questions on this variable scope variables. Like a global variable, what are the differences between the global variables and the local variables? This is an important question, so let's take a note of that. And after learning the scope of the variables, we look into the object references. What does this mean? Here, I'm assigning a values like x equals to 5 and y equals to x. Both x and y points the same object. See, let's see how. I'm taking one more course cell. Here the topic was object references. Here I'm assigning the value x equals to variable x equals to 5 and the same y equals to x. Here I'm giving the x value as x equals to Smart 360. The string. Now the x points to a new object, but y points to 5. Y. Here the x points to a new object because here the x value is a Smart 360, whereas the y we are assigning the value of an x, it is an f5. That's why variable store references, not the value itself. Here the here the variables stores references, not the value itself. This is also one of the important questions in the object references. Here the variables only stores the references, not the value itself. Here, the interview may task like he is assigning the values. Like I'm giving a variable name x and I'm giving assigning a value like 5, and after that y equals to the x. And later on, I will given the x equals to a string value. So here what is the ring? Here the x takes the, you have to say that the hex takes the string values because the variable stores only the references, not the value itself. This is one of the important questions. So please take a look on it. And later, after this, we are discussing about the deleting the variables. Here we are discussing about deleting the variables. Let me take the one more code cell, deleting the variables. Deleting the here. How? Let's take a code like a temporary balance. That is temporary balance equals to 2000 and tell we are deleting the temper balance. Now print this. First of all, run this and later see here, the output was 1 and the temporary balance was deleted. Now I will run this. Now I want to print this temporary balance. Now how? Print temp balance. Temp balance. Let's see what the output is here. We are getting an error. Because why we are using this? It helps to free the memory during the large data processing. See, you are getting the output because it has already deleted the temporary balances. So that's why it's throwing an error message here while giving the print statement. So what was the purpose of this? What was the purpose of this? This here, the purpose was it helps the free memory during the large data processing. This was the purpose. Why this is or might be also an interview questions for the freshers, not for the experienced candidates. Might be the fresher candidates also. And after this up to here we are completed. Now let's see the practical use cases about in banking sector. For example, in the Smart360 Bank, we are swapping the two customers ID. Let's see how we are swapping the two customers ID. This is one of the tasks given to the Rahul, that is swapping the two customers ID. Let me take one more new code cell. Here the task given to Rahul was swapping two customer IDs. Swapping the two customer IDs. Here, one of the tasks given to the Rahul was swapping the two customers ID. Let's see how here. I'm writing the program writing the program here. Like I'm giving the variables A, comma B, assigning the values to the A as string customer. CFS treated and customer 1 and the B value as customer. Customer. Now here I'm giving A, comma B equals to B, comma A. Now I want to print A, comma B. Let's see what it is happening. See, here it is throwing the error. Right. What happening here? Here, now declare as, let's declare it as first one, first 001, and this one it is also a first 002. Now let's run this. Again, we are getting an error here. Why we are getting an error? Here, why I'm getting an error? Let's say anybody. Let's see. Can you guess anybody? Here, I forgot to give a comma here, so that's why it's throwing an error. Now let's run this one. The output looks like custom to custom one. Here, a comma. How we are getting, but actually we are giving the a as custom one and b as custom two. But we are getting like a print a comma b. While printing the a, we are getting the a as custom and b as an custom one. Why? Because here we are given that a comma b equals to b comma a. Again, we are asking. That's why a comma b. Here, these are the two sets. A comma two variables is equals to b comma a. Here, a we are assigning as b. B we are assigning as a. That's why we are getting like this an output. Here, by giving the print statement, by printing the a, we are getting the value like custom two. Because here we are defining that a is equals to b. We are assigning the value of b to the a. That's why we are getting like this is the swapping of two customer side. Let's say, for example, another task that Rahul gets that length of transaction code. Here, let's see what is the length of a transaction. Here, the transaction code is like somewhat TXN. Here, wait 1 second. I will take one more course. Here, the topic, the segment of the task was task is saying was to check the length of the transaction code. That is T, we are giving the variable name xn equals to txn 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now I want to print transaction code length. That is here I am using the length function. Length function length of txn code. Here the length function is used to define the length of this variable length of the variable. So that's why. Let's run here. Again, we are getting the error. Why we are getting an error here? Can anybody guess here? Where actually I'm getting the error? Here in the print statement, I'm getting an error because here I given the quoted here at the last. Instead of giving here, I quoted here. So that's why I'm getting an error here. So please change this quotation here and see. Let's see what is happening here. Now run this. Again, we are getting an error. Why we are getting an error here? Where we are exactly getting an error? Here, yeah, I have used the uppercase. Again, about the so why I'm getting here again? I'm here error because here I've given the TXN code in uppercase, but while I am defining here in the length function, I have given in the lowercase. So that's why I'm getting the error here. So let's change here to uppercase TXN underscore code. Now let's run. See, the output we are getting the successful. Transaction code length was 12. TXN 1234. These alphabets are 3 and the remaining numerics are 9. So 9 plus 3, 12. Here like this is the use cases about the variables. And now I'm giving a work assigning a task like a Jira task force to you. Please do that. Here I'm typing here. Sorry, I'll take one more code here. Here the task for viewers today, create a Jupyter, create a Jupyter notebook for storing and manipulating customer data. Here the checklist was store customer names, comma, age, comma, loan, balance in variables. In variables. The second checklist was change typecasting here. Change age to string. Convert loan balance to float. And the third checklist was print data types of all variables. And the fourth one is swap. Here we are discussing in the task. So swap two loan balances and delete temporary variables. Here we have discussed this also. Delete temporary variables. Now this is the task I'm giving to you all. Please do it. It will be very easy. Why I'm giving this task is it is very useful for you to learn. If you are getting any errors, you can easily go through it and do by your own. Even if you join in a company, you'll take like a task and do it by your own. That's why I'm giving this task. So please do it. And later for this, here are the challenges for this. Challenges are I'm giving these challenges also. Challenges for this. Swap three variables in a single line without using temp variable. And the second one is take a user input input function here for name, comma, age, comma, city, and display them with type checks. Here Here you are taking the inputs as a name, age, city, and display the type checks, the data types you are giving here for the name, age, and city. What are the data types? That is one of the challenge. And the other challenge was dynamically, dynamically cast and sum two string numbers, that is 1000, and the other is 2500.5, which is in a float. These are the tasks and the challenges I have been given. Now, Here, the real world scenario, how the real world gives like the real one of the real world scenario is Rahul receives a CSV file with a string formatted loan data. He must read the data, convert. Yeah, I'm explaining this real world scenario also here. Real world scenario, real world scenario was here. I'm giving a .csv file with the string formatted loan. This scenario might be an interview question also. Loan data. Here, what we must do was read the data. Next, convert strings, whatever the strings, to integers or floats, and also identify identify invalid entries using type checks, and also delete variables after processing each record. This is a real-time scenario. Please practice it and say me, and please share to me what you have done today. We'll discuss tomorrow about all these things. And also there might be some interview questions like what are the variables in Python? Can you assign a different types to the same variables? And also what is the scope of any variables like local versus global? And next, like explain me the object referencing in Python with example. How is memory managed with variables in Python like garbage collections and reference? These are the some of interview questions. So I won't type here the interview questions. Please make a note of that and please do research. We'll discuss it tomorrow. Let's have a nice day. Bye bye. Have a nice day. Thank you so much.